Before we begin, I request everyone to kindly close your eyes for a prayer.
Lord, grant us the wisdom and understanding to seek knowledge earnestly. May we never forget your teachings, and may we always be guided by your word. Amen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and my dear Christites. School of Business and Management, Christ deemed to be University, Lavasa, Pune, is excited and honored to welcome everyone to the second IEEE Conclave on Trends in Quantum Computing and Emerging Business Technologies 2024. I, Ms. Ritushri Ghosh, along with my co host, Mr. Rohit Nair, will be your host for today.
Allow me to give a brief introduction on IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. It is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. IEEE has over 4 lakh members in more than 160 countries, and it sponsors over 2,000 annual conferences and events worldwide. These conferences cover a wide range of technical fields, including electrical engineering, computer science, telecommunications, and biomedical engineering. The purpose of IEEE conference is to provide a platform for researchers, engineers, and industry professionals to present the latest innovations, share knowledge, and network with their peers.
Let us inaugurate the IEEE Conclave 2024 with the lighting of the lamp ceremony. Light disperses darkness. That's true, but let's see it in a different perspective. It does not only disperse darkness, but helps one by illuminating his way forward. We now embark on a timeless tradition that symbolizes the illumination of knowledge, wisdom, and the spirit of unity.
With each flicker of the flame, we ignite inspiration, fostering an environment where ideas converge, partnerships flourish, and breakthroughs emerge. May this event be a testament to our shared commitment to pushing the boundaries of what is possible and shaping the future of computing and driving a transformative change in the world of business and beyond.
So, I would like to request the dignitaries on stage for the lighting of the lamp ceremony. Director and Dean, Dr. Father Lijo Thomas, Dr. A.W. Santosh Kumar, our academic coordinator, Father Justin P. Vargas, Dr. Subhashish Bhattacharya, Dr. Archana Srivastav, Head of Department MBA, Dr. Jobin Jacob, Student Coordinator MBA, Ms. Nicole Machado, Head of Department BBA, Dr. Parmeshwaran S., Student Coordinator BBA, Mr. Shivalik Datta, and Dr. Purnendu Vikasacharji. Thank you, respected dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed delegates, it is now time to honor and felicitate some of the brightest minds and visionary leaders of the realm of academia.
Please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. A.W. Santosh Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Mumbai, whose unwavering dedication and tireless efforts have propelled the institution to new heights of excellence. With great pleasure, I invite onto the stage Director and Dean Dr. Father Lijo Thomas for felicitating Dr. Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Father. Next, let us extend a warm welcome to Dr. Subhashish Bhattacharya, Director of NMIM's Navi Mumbai, whose innovative approach and strategic vision have been instrumental in shaping the future of education and research. I invite Dr. Subhashish Bhattacharya on the stage and our academic coordinator, Father Justin P. Vergas, to do the felicitation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Father. Next, it is an honor to invite Dr. Archana Srivastav, the director of Sri Balaji University, Pune, whose commitment to academic excellence and transformative leadership has inspired countless students and educators alike. I invite Dr. Archana Srivastav on the stage and Dr. Purnendu Bikash Acharji for felicitating the dignitary.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Reverend Dr. Father Lijo Thomas, Director and Dean at Christ deemed to be University, Pune, Lavasa, is a distinguished teaching and research faculty in the College of Education, Louisiana Tech University, USA, and the School of Social Sciences at Christ University, India. He founded the Neurodiversity Lab, Christ deemed to be University, Bangalore campus, enhancing inclusive education. He is the founder director of Dreams, community university collaborative service learning project established in the USA, Germany, and India. And I request Father Leisure to kindly address the gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of MIT University, Professor Dr. Santosh Kumar, Dr. Subhashish Bhattacharya, Director, NMIMS Navi Mumbai campus, Dr. Archana Srivastava, Director, Sri Balaji University, Pune, all the three chairs of um, second IEEE conference, respected heads of the departments, faculty members, distinguished speakers and guests, and participants. It's truly an honor and privilege to stand before you and join this one of our most prestigious and signature events of this campus, this IEEE conference, which is the second edition on our campus. And I really wanted to thank and appreciate the persistence and hard work and commitments of all the organizers. Sometimes it's easy to organize things like this in big cities. It's truly challenging to organize this place like Lavasa. At this context, I personally and also on behalf of the entire campus, I wanted to extend our sincere gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Santosh Kumar for gracing this occasion and being here and being our guest of honor, and also other distinguished guests. And I always say that any guests come to our campus that nobody stops by on our Lavasa campus, because before we make that travel, we truly think at least 10 times whether I need to make that decision, whether I need to go. Because the windy roads and it's really the whole day, it's very hard. But it's always, we are extremely grateful to each of you, our distinguished guests, for being here and blessing us with your presence, and sincerely extend our warmest welcome to be a part of this our one of our favorites and distinguished events of this campus. Quantum computing is a trend. So that's a topic also, trends in quantum computing, especially in that emerging business, which is really incorporating that into our uh, practical things. So which is more significant. So the whole concept was, the overarching theme was evolved during this lot of discussions and evaluations and reviews, and they finally come up with this overarching theme. And it was so impressive to see that what are the aspects are, these are very significant, especially for tomorrow's. Always conferences are looking for or we're discussing for our tomorrows based on our past. And I'm sure this wonderful conference definitely will make a huge impact, not only on these participants, for sure, all those speakers and presenters, and even the entrepreneurs and business people to implement this quantum computing into the emerging business initiatives and making it more quantum computing or computational things to be implemented in our practical and daily projects, especially in the business level. I'm truly looking forward to this conference and wish everybody all the best for this conference. Thank you.
Thank you for enlightening words, Father.
Now, let's welcome a distinguished leader of academia, Professor Dr. A.W. Santosh Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Mumbai. Sir brings a global perspective with experience as Honorable Vice Chancellor of esteemed NAC A++ universities in India and leadership roles at institutions like the University of California, Riverside.
Sir's research interests are vast, with current adjunct faculty positions at UC Riverside, CUSM USA, and the University of London. The Honorable Vice Chancellor's dedication to academic excellence spans continents, making him a valuable asset to this conference. Please join me in extending Sir a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Reverend Father Lijo Thomas, Reverend Father Justin, the two guests of honors, Dr. Shubhashish Bhattacharya from NMMS and Dr. Archana Srivatsav from Balaji, all the heads of the department, and my dear students. First of all, it gives me a great pleasure to stand before you today to just address you on this inaugural day of this IEEE conference. Even though the road was very tortuous coming here, I should certainly say that it is worth coming. I have two reasons why I visited Christ today. Number one, earlier I was invited last year by Christ Bangalore, where I was not able to go. This time, when Father invited, I was just looking at the Google map and I found very tortuous sequence. Then I was very tired. Then I told my driver that we are not going. Then it is all because of our friend here, Sharma, where it made it really possible for me to come. But lo and behold, when I was just coming halfway through, I did not see any buildings. Then I lost hope. I asked the driver, are we going on the right path? So immediately one big board popped up saying 18 kilometers. So that's how I am here. But I should certainly extend my accolades to Father Lijo and all the people here that you have an inspectable campus, which is an in-house campus where you can't do anything without anybody. So it is the campus of inclusivity rather than I would say that campus of analytics. With regard to the IEEE conference, last year you have done a conference, the same similar conference on quantum computing, where, as you know, that when someone is inviting for inaugural address, we used to just Google and see what is happening there at Christ, right? But I'm a different guy. I immediately just call my Siri and ask Siri, what is fascinating about Christ Lavasa? I do not know. Each and everyone has a smartphone or an iPhone. You can do that and see what is the answer that you're getting. Then later on, I moved to the YouTube. I found Dr. Becky Thomas giving a promo for your IEEE conference, which is very, very good, very crisp. That is the first accolade I just wanted to give. The second one, when I came here, I did not send my CV or any other thing for my introduction. But I always do this is just because to see how our students and faculties go on this SOS occasion to get scram something from the Google and get my information, whether correct or not, little hyped or not, etc. And I really thank the organizers for giving a very crisp information about each and every one, inclusive of Father Lijo. And that is hats up to you people, which I have never ever found in any of the universities which I have visited in and around Mumbai and Pune. One of the disclosures which I wanted to just give you is that I don't belong to Maharashtra, but I belong to Kerala and Tamil Nadu. But I would always say that it is the Christian institutions that have made the first seed of learning and teaching. I myself coming from schools where it has been totally manned by Jesuit fathers. So in this occasion, I am really, really very proud that that's what I said, that it is worth a try coming to Christ and be with you to see this fascinating campus. I was telling Father Lijo that very good campus that you have. As I was talking about Siri, YouTube, and other things, you know that nowadays there is nobody without a computer interaction. And as Father was saying, quantum computing is coming up. But embracing the technology is very, very faster nowadays. If you would see earlier days where Instagram was actually launched, 100 million users they were able to get only after 7 months. But whereas a chat GBT version 4 has hit the roof within 1 month. So this is just to say that we are totally becoming computer savvy and we have gotten to that. Our students here, inclusive of the faculties, everyone is with a smartphone, everyone texting, everyone scrolling things. TikTok, which we have embraced in 3 months' time, where it has hit the roof of 100 million users within 3 months' time. So, as you see here, I'm indeed very happy that we are teaching the Gen Zs, who you are, and the millennials, where you are very fast, very knowledgeable, and very active. That is why I always, when I talk to my faculty and deans, I used to say that you have to learn from the students. Because in my generation we are not that much very fast or very energetic to say. All through this way I stopped the car twice to vomit because I was feeling so dizzy. Then finally I wanted to give up, but at the same time I was seeing two of your students I do not know coming on a bike very very happily, very very happily. I was little nervous that these guys should not hit somewhere. uh, those people, then I was just comparing my energy level to theirs and the generation level. And when we talk about this, you need to know that India is the only country in 2030 to 2035 where you will see only young people there. All the old people will be gone. I just tell you this is just because based on our population statistics, it is 30% now the old people will go away within a period of 10 years. Then you are the king now. How many people of our Indians have gone abroad to stamp their feet and had the pinnacle of glory? No matter what, if it is Google CEO or no matter what, it is Apple, wherever. I was in California, I was in the US for 18 years. I personally visited Sacramento, the Silicon Valley, and other things, where you will literally see an Indian population there. So, you people here are going to nail this universe in due course of time. But I also wish to ponder a thought that is education really okay? Because on an average, every year, more than 72% of our faculty, sorry, students, they graduate. Convocation, we get a graduation degree, etc. But you need to know that 12% of the people who have not got the degree are the highest paid people in the whole world, the college dropouts. Right from Apple CEO to each and every person, including our Ambani, they are all college dropouts. Adani is a college dropout from Gujarat, economics. Ambani is a college dropout from Harvard. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, he's a college dropout from Harvard. So now that gets a question here that is education really needed, or is teaching really needed, or learning is really, really needed? So learning part comes only by making a forum or a group in which we learn on a peer learning concept, which is one among them is the biggest IEEE, where the biggest number of members are there in this IEEE throughout the whole world. They not only conduct conferences, they also give awards to students scholarship to students, and now it has become a very fascinating thing. Each and every university has a IEEE chapter in it, inclusive of Amit University, Mumbai. But I always ask my students that what you are doing here, what is your arena, how are you taking your alma mater outside? So it is our responsibility as the students of Christ that this IEEE should be a platform. At the same time, your knowledge should be the real seed in bringing this platform coming up to a greater level. When we talk about quantum computing, I should say that Amit University, Noida campus, we have a center for excellence in quantum computing. But these kind of centers are already there. If you take Amity University, Mumbai, we have 20 schools or institutes. But looking at you people, where you have only 5 schools, you're doing a great job, and I'm very ashamed that I'm just holding 20 schools there. You people are with spick and span with code. Everything is pakka, and I really appreciate you guys for doing this job. And one thing I will just tell it in closure that you students should not only stop by only conducting conferences. I should also say that you people have to conduct some workshops where you are hands-on to that kind of a skill, because now skill-based technologies have come very fast. It is not the education that counts now, education that imparts skill. People have moved from traditional university to skill tech universities. And no doubt that Christ University with the various campuses is doing a great job, and you students of Christ Lavasa are doing a real great job after me looking at you here. And I really thank you all for giving this opportunity, and all the best. God bless you.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session and your words of appreciation.
Now, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Shubhashish Bhattacharya, Campus Director of NMIMS Navi Mumbai. Sir brings a wealth of experience spanning over 35 years in both academia and industry.
Sir's expertise lies in human resource management, with a distinguished career encompassing professorships and leadership roles at prestigious institutions like Symbiosis International University and Pandit Deen Dayal Energy University.
Dr. Bhattacharya is not only a prolific researcher with publications in top ranked journals, but also a passionate educator, evident in his PhD guidance and international keynote speeches. Sir's commitment to academic excellence and diverse skill set make him a valuable addition to our conference. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bhattacharya.
Good morning, Honorable Father Lijo Thomas ji, the Chief Guest Dr. Santosh Kumar ji, Guest of Honor Dr. Archana Srivastava ji, faculty members, and dear students. Very warm welcome and very, very good morning for this session. Today, actually, when Purnendu ji contacted me and we were discussing that what is this that you would like me to speak on, I thought let me now, because it's IEEE conclave and quite technical. So I thought there are many factors in any organization which are enabling factors. What is the role of the organization, the leadership to drive those things? I thought let me work on that, because I worked for last 25 years in academics and before that in the industry. So based on my experience, based on what I see in other places, I thought let me put that together and have some research also. What is that research papers are also talking about, right? In terms of enabling factors from the company's point of view, from the organization's point of view, from the university's point of view, which can ensure that research is thriving, the patent, etc., consultancy, etc., those projects are thriving, right? So this is the first slide, is it? Okay, so first, okay. First thing is, whether we talk about research in any educational institution, universities, what is the thought of the organization, the think tank, that what is our goal, right? And an organization, an institution or university can decide to be that, well, we are going to be teaching organization. Students are going to come here, study well, I'm saying only, and placement is also very good, and that's all, right? So that is one clarity. So are we clear about that? That's my question, right? There are other organizations who say, no, we will focus on research part. There are many institutions also who typically 80% of that work is on research only. So again, clarity. Most of the organizations are not clear. They're into educational institutions, they're not very clear, right? So they start an educational institution, UGC, all regulatory bodies, they have got the go ahead and all, and they start, right? And then in between, somewhere they ask for from the faculty and all that get some research work. Sometimes, whenever there is a time for NIF ranking or NAC ranking, then look for those outcomes. But in between, not much of the things are there which are driving for next 5 years or 3 years, right? So first thing is, are we clear about what do we want to be? That is vision statement and mission statement in real sense. Vision statement, mission statement in real sense, which everyone knows, especially the think tank and down the line, including students also. What are the cultures and the policies and enablers? Are we clear about that also? If the think tank is clear about that, definitely after that, the thought process is the first step. After that, the policies, etc., will fall in place. Ecosystem for research, grant, etc., patent work and all, do we have that? I will come to that also later on. That what do we mean by ecosystem? Can we go to, okay, the clarity about the teaching, research and both, right? So the clarity is also there. Next one. Research itself, nowadays, there is a talk about so much of publications there. There is a talk in the academic fraternity also, in government sector also. So much of publications there. What is the use of it? Sometimes researchers, they publish and forget what they have published. Even there is disconnect between what they publish and the utility for the organization also, utility for the society also. So applied research, where is our focus? Are we clear about that? Is it only the publication that we need, or is it the application of those publications? Applied research or theoretical research. Are we clear about that? Nowadays, there is again talk about having applied research, because that is going to solve the problem of the society, of the business. Right? I have seen organizations who say we'll focus on applied research. We'll go to the society, we'll go out in the section of the society. I have seen, when I was in Pandit Dindayal Energy University, I was director in School of Management there. I have seen their energy university, focus on energy, and faculty, students, they go out in Kutch area and different areas where societal problems are there. They don't get water, they don't get, there's a lot of sometimes cold weather and all, they don't get hot water. So geothermal water, etc., going out and doing some research there, getting that water out and serving the society. That is how we help to solve the problems of the society. Are we doing? Are our students prepared? Are our students sensitized for that? Are we giving direction to our students? Is it the whole organization having a thought towards that or not? That's the question. Next one. Okay, this is about recruitment. Again, because my complete thought, the theme of my thought, this speech is enablers. What is that organization that can do, the think tank that can do, because leaders, organization need to be very clear about recruitment policy. Whom do we recruit? Is there right fitment or not? Right? So we need to be very clear on that. So there are organizations who say, okay, we'll recruit good teachers and we'll train them for research. In that case, do we have the infrastructure, the systems to train them? During recruitment, have we got that potential to check and passion also in the new recruit faculty and all, whether they are good for getting trained in research or not. It may happen. I've seen very good faculty, and they have decided, they say, I will not do research. Right. So, I mean, they have decided it. They're very good faculty. If that is the mindset, well, we decide, well, they are very good teacher. Do we need some of the very good teachers also? And in Europe also, you'll find two types of teacher, three rather. Only teachers who are good in teaching, only researchers, and the stars are both, who are good in both teaching also and research also, and other star performers, right? So only good researcher or those who are good in teaching or research. Yeah. So very clear during recruitment. I am aware about one of the IIMs who were doing well, but the new director joined, and he decided that we will focus on research. Recruitment itself, they will not shortlist people, invite people if they have not got, say, the research up to a level, right? So very clear, very clear. And today I'm finding that is one of the highest in terms of research output. Very high. The graph has gone very high in terms of research output. So very clear in terms of thought process of the think tank. Next one. Okay. Now, if an organization has, I'm aware about an university also where they are very clear about focus on research. Imagine how we can bring about very good ecosystem. PhD program also university want to have and see to it that is thriving, right? I'm aware about organizations where complete research department is there, headed by a separate, very senior level position, direct level position, heading research department. Okay, so PhD programs completely handled by them. Within that department, they have patent sub department, consultancies, another department. People are delegated there. So otherwise, a huge organization, multi-campus. So how the faculty teaching in one area would be getting to know that ICSSR has got some project, right? Probably they may try on their own, but then if it is there an enabling factor, so that is how we create enabling factor. Now, this department, PhD department, the research department that we call, which is a training department also, they give training to the faculty members, to the staff also. They give training to the PhD students also. They organize so many training programs also, workshops and all, right? So very, very enabling factors. And output is also there. Number of PhD program, very, very rigorous program, and very high number of PhD students, and getting output from them. This requires training also. Do we have that training within the organization, training department, right? It is possible. Only thing is, we need to give thoughts. We need to have some ideas that, okay, how it works at some places. So faculty who have joined as a teaching faculty, new faculty is good in research, not very good in research. So many programs are being held by this department. They bring people within in-house faculty also. They conduct these kind of programs. Calendar is also prepared, and people are asked to go there and have, because in any case, UGC and all these ranking agencies, they want faculty members to have certification programs. So this department is organizing certification program. So individual faculty doesn't have to look for which certification program I have to go out, take leave, and get into all the kind of hassles. Is not able to go out also. If it's a far away place, sometimes is busy in teaching and all. Within the university, they are conducting these things. Enabling factors, right? So and they facilitate for there is a department which facilitate for patent filing. Patent filing requires an expertise also. Some law related, legal related steps are also involved, so they help in that also. So a lot of patents are getting filed. Next one, please. What is the fitment? Organization's perspective and the employees, that is faculty's perspective also. Some faculty, what is their perspective? Do they want to be joining an organization which is which asks for a lot of research output? They need to be careful when they're applying. Similarly, the organizations, they're asking for certain kind of faculty and their expectation from them in terms of their performance. Then if both of them are having clarity of it, and it should be clear during advertisement also, during discussion while you're intaking them, recruiting them, and the fitment. And very clear, very transparent discussion. This is what we are, this is what we expect. So otherwise, it is going to be very fast handshake. It should not be happening, right? So it should not be happening. So because we take people and if attrition rate is very high, that speaks bad for the organization also, right? We need to ensure that attrition, because that is also not only from NAC point of view, regulatory point of view, but as it is. So we are recruiting people, we train them as an organization. We don't want people to leave. That's not good. That's not sending good signal to other people who are out there, right? As a culture, as an ethos also, we want people to come and join and stay with us for a long time, right? So not hiring and firing kind of culture. Fitment. Next, please. So these are some of the best practices. 0 hour we have implemented in MIMS. 0 hour is, that means we talk about collaboration. We talk about collaborative work in the research, right? So and 3,000 students in my campus, in Navi Mumbai campus, 8 schools, different faculty in different area. Very good opportunity, because so many people, so many experts are there at one place only. How do we leverage that expertise? Collaborative research. There are people who know mathematics, statistics area, psychology area, SGME, School of Technology and Engineering and Management area, engineering area, law area are in play. Today, we are asking for interdisciplinary research. Ambience is there, opportunity is there. We have an enabling factor. We thought very recently we got this 0 hour. That means no teaching during this time. Discuss. There is a place. Discuss about research. Give some time for the faculty to research. Maybe 2 hours in a week. We started with, but in a humble way, 2 hours in a week on Fridays, 3 to 5, like that, right? So over a cup of tea, coffee, discuss, brainstorm, students. For students, because 3,000 students, as of now, it is not very easy. Students, we have not started 0 hour, but faculty we have started. Going forward, calendar and everything, we have done that. Going forward, we are thinking about that part also. If many students are coming forward for research and all, we see that also going up, definitely. In any case, students are meeting, in any case, during events, in common rooms and all. Not all the time they are occupied in classes, right? So they have enough opportunity to meet and do research. Sorry, previous one. बहुत मेहनत किया है आपके लिए. So थोड़ा, I I prepared a lot in terms of, you'll see the research part also coming up. So how slowly we'll go through this. So performance appraisal rubrics, right? Patents, theoretical research, applied research, consultancy, rubrics. We talk about performance appraisal. Everywhere it is there, right? After every year, performance appraisal. So if we are asking for patent, how much is the weightage for patent? Are we giving more incentive? Research paper, within research paper, A grade, B grade journal, C grade journal, do we categorize that? Do we give incentive? How do we, what is our enabling factor on that, right? So, or is it theoretical research or applied research? Where is our focus? If we are clear about that, we can bring about that in the rubrics also, right? So, appropriate incentives also. Work assignment, proper utilization of the talent. Only this much I am saying. Talented people we are employing, highly educated people we are employing, but many a times they are not given the work which is getting the best out of them, right? Sometimes we have seen at some places that they do clerical job. So a very bad utilization of talent actually, right? Very costly talent actually we have employed. We can get clerks at lower salary. Why at high salary and getting that work done, right? So we need to understand that we are in a way having a very costly proposition otherwise. And facilitating work culture, stability, and not hiring and firing culture. Stability. Patent, research work, especially project work and all, takes a lot of time to complete, right? So if culture is hiring and firing, they will come and join And after some time, they will look for job. Imagine they're more focused to look for job rather than focusing on productive work. Very, very important and very, very basics, I think, right? So attrition rate is the data which throws, which is a a sort of giving an indication that what kind of culture that we have and other things, right? And the academic fraternity, similarly, all the organizations within the organization, a particular organization, the world is very small and word spreads by word of mouth. Actually, these kind of things spreads very fast. So what kind of branding that we create in the in the whole world, right? So people will join more because of branding which is out in the market, right? What kind of branding so some of the companies take very good care to see to it that branding does not go for a toss, and these are very, very important things for that, right? Next, please. This is one of the research paper which talks about role of transformational leadership in enhancing organizational innovation, hypothesis, and some preliminary findings. Top management's top managers' leadership style, one of the most important factors for organizational innovation. Hypothesis, they have typically hypothesis they wanted to test. How top manager leadership style directly, indirectly, why empowerment, organizational climate affect their company's innovation, right? Innovation, when you talk about innovation, you pick up any organization, we have to empower people. It cannot be a culture where we down the neck and we every small things we are trying to see and monitor, right? We have to give empowerment, and that's what we see in many organizations who are high performing organizations. Findings support a direct and positive link between style of leadership that has been labeled as transformational and organizational innovation. Transformational leadership leading to innovation in the organization. It has got significant positive relationship in both empowerment and innovation supporting our climate organization. This is the research finding. One of the there are 7-8 research findings. Next one, please. This was published in Wiley, managing innovation, innovative R&D teams, exploratory research, specific barriers and drivers to innovative team performance, provide insight into the type of an organizational environment and managerial leadership that is conducive to industry. So this again, transformational leadership, role of the organization, making conducive atmosphere, and testing that time and again in different setup, different organization, different countries. And we always are getting consistent result that this is what it is, right? Many performance variables have their low locus outside R&D where we don't have a control. But still, in spite of that, managerial leadership style has significant impact on creating that ultimately affects R&D performance. So managerial time and again it is coming, right? So imagine if 60 to 70% of the impact is of the leadership style, the transformational leadership style of the organization, it matters. It matters, right? It is not only the competent people you employ and we expect outcome. It may not. So that is what the finding. This is what it is. Yeah, next one, please. Next one, please. Another research finding. Can I have hand mic so that? So this is one intellectual capital and new product development performance. This is published again. Mediating role of organization learning capability. Mediating role of organization learning capability. Relationships governing. They worked on that. These are the variables. Intellectual capital, organizational learning capability, and new product development performance. The results show that a human capital, relationship capital will actually improve new product development performance through organizational learning capability. The relational capital is the greatest factor because mediating, they performed that analysis to find out what is the mediating role. Among all these three, this is found to be the greatest relational capital. Relational capital. I hope you understand that relational capital in the organization. And this was done in Taiwanese, in that setup, in that country. Among these three types of intellectual capital in Taiwan is IC design companies. Structural capital is the second, and human capital is the last one, right? So please. Factors influencing university research performance is another research done in Taylor and Francis, published in Research University. Impact of managerial practices and culture within the university departments of high research productivity. Findings are autonomy, egalitarianism, equality, egalitarianism, not much of hierarchy. Strong cultural ethos supporting achievement and individualism. Characteristics of high functioning departments. These are the findings. Commitment-oriented work settings are important, but largely absent in work environment of low performance. That means they are low performers. They may not be less competent. They came out to be low performers because outcome was not there. That's why low performance in terms of performance appraisal. But what was the main factor there? Commitment-oriented work setting was absent. This above indicates certain managerial practices, when coupled with a supporting set of cultural characteristics, are crucial to influencing research performance. Again, connecting with role of the organization and leadership. Very, very important. Above are very useful, especially when for any university, these findings are useful because they can take some learning out of these findings. Next one, please. So this was in National Library Medicine, published Practices of Productive Research Environment, a literature review. Which factors stimulate and maintain research productivity? That was the question. The literature review revealed that a consistent set of 12 characteristics was found in research conducive environment. These are all 12. Uh, all 12, you can see that. But out of this, appropriate recruitment selection again, which we spoke about earlier. 11th and 12th, leadership with research expertise and skills. Authors conclude that research enterprise is a delicate structure. Research enterprise, if in any university or institution, research department is there, we call that research enterprise. In an organization, business organization, research organization is there, we call that research enterprise. So research enterprise is a delicate structure highly dependent on existence and effective working of numerous individuals, organizational and leadership characteristics. So very delicate structure, very sensitive. It has to be handled with care. Yeah, next one, please. Reluctance to pursue breakthrough research significantly. Now, this is the question. Why we are having so much of research output in terms of publication and all, but then why not we don't get breakthrough research, path-breaking research? That we don't get mostly. What is the reason for that, right? Studies highlight lack of groundbreaking innovations, though there is flood of publications, plus substantial resources invested in R&D. A lot of money is invested. A lot of publication also we get, but why we don't get breakthrough results, right? Issues are insufficient investment in exploratory research by high skilled scholars, mostly secondary data, collect some data, right? Maybe not experimental research also, mostly survey result also, right? So that is why we are not getting breakthrough results, very, very path-breaking results. Excessive focus on publishing papers. So people will publish whatever you're asking, whatever are the regulatory requirements, you focus more on that, you get that only, right? Reduce effectiveness of current mechanism of incentives for breakthrough research, right? So you have incentive for the path-breaking research, groundbreaking research, you'll find it will also go up. That is where it is you see that in Europe and America, path-breaking research. That's why those researchers, some of these. In India also, there are organizations who are into path-breaking, groundbreaking research also. Yes. Next one. In Sage Journal, this was published, Roadmap for Enhancing University Industry Research Collaboration. Now, here is the focus. So now there's a demand that the university only cannot on its own do research. Let us have more collaboration with the industry. try to go out in the industry, try to solve their problem, real problem actually, and get and publish that, document that, and as in the form of research, etc. Right. So where is that point is coming here? There is stiff international competition, though in India, developing countries, most of the other developing countries, resource crunch is already there. That's the first problem. In terms of groundbreaking research, poor scientific output that we get is a hindrance for growth of the domestic industry. You don't have path-breaking, groundbreaking research output and all, and that's going to be hindrance for our industry also. Research on development agenda, if that is what the government's agenda is there, that is going to create atmosphere for ensuring that people, whole ecosystem works to have really groundbreaking research. He suggested in red color, university industry research collaboration, more of it, though it is there, more of it. Many a times we find that industry, sometimes when we go to the industry, they have some reservations, they have some reservation in terms of data sharing and all. They don't want to share the data, you don't want to share the data with the academics sometimes. So we cannot get into that. In Europe and America, you typically you find the ecosystem outside the universities that they don't have so much of reservation sharing the data. That's why Harvard Business School and all, Stanford and all, they go out more out for in the field. With the industry, collaborate with them and do research, solve their problem and do research, and that's the conducive atmosphere for having groundbreaking research. Identifies the impediments in the way of industry and university collaborate and offer solution to attain optimal synergy between academia and energy. That is the way forward. That is the way forward now. We were talking in the morning also, how do you collaborate in terms of new companies which are coming up, in cell, right, entrepreneurship cell and all, right? So that is possible if academia and industry come and collaborate, and our students also are part of that. Next, please. To stay or not to stay, retention of Asian international faculty in STEM field, STEM field. You're aware about that, right? In engineering field. So this was a research done, published in Springer, where typically it was done. The sample was assistant professor level. Why many of them are leaving? Some of those well-known universities, right? Why they are not getting retained, right? On that. So characteristics that influence Asian international faculty members' intention to continue their employment in US research universities. One is contract, tenure, we call that tenure there, right? So typically, there is high issues. These are the high issues. High attrition of untenured faculty. They are not on tenure, they are not on permanent basis, right? And replacement cost, this is also an issue. The organization is also faced with issues because many people, many assistant professors, and there are many number, they leave and then recruiting new, and they are aware about this issue, but they are not actually taking steps to solve it. And the steps are very easy here. Pull and push factors, pull and push variables, uncertain faculty towards intention to stay or leave. If untenured faculty is there, we'll look for his career also. For how many years is going to stay untenured? If it's not getting addressed, very simple basic of human need, we'll look for, and you're going to lose. We'll come back in India or some other places, and we'll be able to, and we want people to come back again in India. Those who are going out and learning there want to come back in India also, and can contribute to our country also. We need that at this time. Those dissatisfied with the fairness of work evaluations and believe that tenure decisions are not merit based. Just check these words. These are not, this is a perception, right? Non-merit based are more likely to say they will leave. It's a question on leadership, on the organization's policies. Either you change the perception if you have wrong perception, or you ensure that you correct your policies, right? Otherwise, your highly competent people are leaving. You have that issues of high replacement cost as well. Next one, please. Conclusion. Obvious one. If we, as organization leaders, are clear about our goals, take care of fitment, take good care of researchers and faculty members, create conducive ecosystem, bring in enabling factors, ensure cordial and motivation atmosphere in the organization, quality research output, patent research will definitely go up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for an insightful address on the role of leadership in creating ecosystems for promoting research. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce Dr. Archana Srivastav, Director of the Balaji Institute of Modern Management here at Christ Deemed to be University, Pune Lavasa campus.
Dr. Srivastav brings over 2 decades of experience in empowering businesses to thrive. Ma'am's expertise spans the entire human resource spectrum, encompassing training and development, personal administration, and employee relations.
Throughout her career, Ram has consistently demonstrated a talent for designing and implementing effective HR interventions that drive positive change within organizations.
Dr. Srivastav's passion extends beyond practical application. Ma'am is a dedicated educator with a proven track record of fostering student success. Ma'am's areas of research interest include employee engagement, leadership development, and occupational stress management, which reflect a deep understanding of the modern workforce.
Dr. Srivastav's commitment to excellence and her diverse skill set make her a valuable asset for this conference. Please join me in giving ma'am a warm welcome.
Thank you for that very warm introduction. Uh, Reverend Father Thomas, Reverend Father Varghese, Dr. Kumar, Dr. Bhattacharya, all the esteemed faculty members, and of course, very dear student managers. Very good morning to all of you. So, at the very outset, let me put on record that I'm extremely happy to be here. And I'm happy to be here for 2 reasons. One, as I was discussing with Father this morning, this happens to be the seat for analytics, and HR analytics in particular has been a passion with me. So I'm extremely happy to be here. Yes, the journey this morning was a little nauseating because of the ghat sections and all of that. But now that I'm here and I'm seeing the lovely faces here, the energy, the dreams in your eyes, I think it was worth the effort. So I'm extremely happy to be here. The second reason why I'm happy to be here is because I'm also a product of a Christian institution, St. Joseph's Convent, that was my school. And after many years, when I've come here to Christ University, I'm feeling extremely nostalgic. I'm able to recall some of those memories and the Gurukul culture that Father has created here. So, Father, thank you so very much for this opportunity. Right. So, being the seat of analytics, I thought that probably I'd talk about how we can leverage business analytics in this industry 4.0. We see that technology has always changed the way we have conceptualized and implemented business and commerce, right? So the emerging technologies always change our lives and our livelihoods. So let me ask you, students, which is the most coveted search engine that you guys use? So whenever you are in doubt, whenever you're seeking answers, which is the search engine you go to? Right. So Google. But do remember that Google displaced Yahoo, which was the biggest search engine, and Yahoo also had the first mover advantage. But then came in Google, and Google has been the industry leader in the search engine industry for many decades now, right? Whom did Netflix displace to become a leader? Blockbuster, absolutely right. Whom did Amazon displace? Any idea? MySpace, right? So all of these organizations do this could become the market leaders because they understood the power of business analytics. They could understand, they could decode the new normal, and they could understand that if you use data and if you use business analytics, it is quite easy. It can be the source of your competitive advantage. So here we are in Industry 4.0, where data has become the new gold. So if you recall, if you step back and understand, Industry 1.0 was all about the power of using mechanical machines or the power of using steam, right? So the innovation or the drivers in Industry 1.0 were simple machines which would make use of the principles of physics. For example, people used a pulley, an inclined wedge, a wheel. So all of these simple mechanical machines were used to do work. And then steam power or steam driven engines were used. And we also had the steam locomotive, because of which people could transport their goods from one place to another. So this helped them enhance the geographical reach of their markets, and they could service the customers much faster. So that was Industry 1.0. Then came Industry 2.0, where electric power was discovered. So now the machines were not just mechanical machines, but these machines could be powered using electricity. And electricity, of course, is much cheaper, it is much cleaner, and this helped mass scale production to start happening. And of course, we have Henry Ford, who observed that at the butchery in Chicago, he observed that when the butchers were working on the meat would move on a conveyor, but the butcher would only do part of the butchery, and then the meat would move ahead, and the next butcher would do the next part. From this concept, he adopted this concept to the assembly lines where cars were being manufactured, where automobile was being manufactured. And he made different stations on the assembly line, and a worker would work only part of the assembly, and then the car would move forward and the next worker would assemble. So this way sequential assembly would happen, and at the end of it, at the end of the assembly line, you could get a car, right? So here, if you see, two concepts were implemented. One, division of labor. So one worker was working on only one part of the entire activity. And because the worker was working repeatedly on this, he could develop expertise in that particular activity. So you could create now cars which were much cheaper. You could create cars in lesser time, and of course you could create cars which had lesser defects because of the specialization that was afforded because of this scheme of work. If you talk about Industry 3.0, this started with the advent of semiconductors, right? So we started using electronics and you started having computer systems. Because of this, yes, there was partial automation in our business and commerce. Industry 4.0, where we are currently situated, this is the era of IoT, Internet of Things. We are able to remotely control and communicate with machines with the help of the internet. So internet, the World Wide Web, is the biggest enabler when it comes to IoT. Now, because of IoT, there is no distinction, or the lines have blurred between physical, digital, and even biological systems. All of these components can communicate via the internet, via the World Wide Web, and we have, created smart factories, so to say, right, where we have cyber and physical systems that can communicate, talk to each other, even remotely, right? So suddenly in this Industry 4.0, we realize that data has become paramount. A lot of data is getting created. You have, humongous amount of data that gets created by the second. So what do we do with this data? If we are able to process this data, if you're able to analyze this data, and if you are able to draw insights from this data, which will help us achieve better business outcomes or better organizational outcomes, then I think you have won the game. So, in today's time, we're talking about big data, right? So, what is big data? I think all of you must be aware. Anyone who can say, what is big data? You heard a lot about it, right? Anyone would like to take a try on this? So, we have data all around us, right? So big data can be data which is either structured data, it could be unstructured data, or it could also be semi-structured data. As the name suggests, this data is very, very voluminous in nature. It is huge data. The quantum of data that we're talking about here is humongous. It is huge, right? And we need to have special technologies. The traditional technologies, of course, cannot analyze big data. So we have big data technologies which can process on this data. But if you're able to capture, warehouse, process this data, and then draw actionable insights, insights on which you can act for better organizational outcomes, for better business outcomes. So that would be a game changer. So some of the characteristics of big data, it is described by the 5 V's. So the first of the V is, of course, volume. So huge amount of data. So for example, when we talk about millions and billions of records, that is the level, or that would classify as big data. So let's say the census of India, which is done once in 10 years. So we are, almost 1.4 billion now. So that data would classify as big data. So that is the first V, the volume. Second V is related to velocity. That is how fast the data flows. A lot of this data gets created, every second, and we need to process it in real time to be able to take, decisions that would actually have a huge impact. So the flow, the speed, that is the velocity of the data. The third V is the variety. As I said, big data could be structured, it could be unstructured, it could be semi structured. So, this data can have any kind of format, need not only be numbers, right? It could be text, it could be paragraphs, it could be videos, it could be photos, it could be audios. So, you have a wide variety of formats that constitute your big data, right? The fourth is veracity. So veracity, refers to the inconsistencies, the inaccuracies that you can have in your data. Because we are collecting data from different sources, we need to ensure that our data is accurate, our data is relevant. Otherwise, the decisions that you draw based on this data will also be erroneous if your data is not clean. So that's the fourth V, the veracity. And fifth V, of course, is value. So you cannot collect, or you should not collect data just for the heck of collecting data. We should not do business analytics just for the heck of business analytics, right? The ultimate objective should be that there should be a business case for whatever data you're collecting and whatever data analytics or whatever business analytics that you're doing, right? So what value is this data giving you? So somewhere you can say value is the ROI on the data that you collect. So these 5 V's describe, your big data, right? So what's the big deal? We have technologies that help us generate, that help us capture, that help us store and analyze big data. But unless and until we don't use this data to take data driven decisions in businesses, it is of no use. And this is where, the role of business analytics comes in, right? So, business analytics again is at different maturity levels. If you see in organizations, you can say that there are 4 kinds of business analytics that we can broadly classify. First, of course, is descriptive business analytics, where this kind of analytics just describes whatever has happened in the past. So you take historical data of the past, and you just answer the question, what happened? So descriptive analytics will just give you an answer to the question, what happened? So for example, the turnover in the previous year, the profits generated in the previous year, right? The attrition rate in the previous year. All of this is what happened in the past based on the historical data, right? So this is just descriptive analytics. If we talk about diagnostic analytics, this goes a level further, and which talks about why did something which happened happen? What was the reason? Try to drill down and understand why your sales dipped in the last year. So diagnostic analytics will help you understand. Again, it makes historical data, but helps you understand why something which has happened did happen. But again, this is at the hind end, right? We also need to know that what will happen in the future based on your planning, based on the strategy that you have made, what is likely to happen in the future, right? So for this, we make use of predictive analytics. You try to predict, again, taking into account the historical data that is available to you, you try to predict what is going to happen at the end of the financial year. So that is your predictive modeling and predictive analytics. The highest level of maturity of analytics, we can say, is prescriptive analytics, right? So, prescriptive analytics, the most difficult analytics to implement and does require a very high level of competency, creates different scenarios for the future. And it tells you that if you want a certain outcome in the future, what intervention is required today, right? So if you want your sales to go up by X%, what is it that you need to do today so that in the future the sales will go up by X%, right? So in brief, we can say that prescriptive analytics is something which tells you that what you need to do today in order to achieve the desired output or outcome in the future, right? So these are the four classifications of business analytics that we can talk about, right? So if you look at organizations today, there are examples galore where organizations have used business analytics and they have emerged as the business leader in their respective fields. Okay, so the first example that I would like to share with you all here is about Project Oxygen, right? And this Project Oxygen was conducted by Google. Okay. Now we all understand that Google is a tech company, an out and out tech company. And most of the people there are the engineers who have a very high level of human capital, but they're all techies, right? So the backdrop in which this project was undertaken, let me tell you about that to understand, how a tech company like Google is leveraging analytics for its people. So the general perception at Google was, and this was the perception of the engineers, the techies at Google, was that managers are not required. They are a necessary social evil and they unnecessarily come in the way of work and they create unnecessary bureaucracy. So we don't need managers. We need, people who have got very good technical skills, right? But managers is something that we don't need, people coming from the management side. So this was a general perception that was prevailing at Google. So the people's department, people's operation, that's the HR department of Google, that's how they call themselves. Having a very, analytical mindset, they said that we will not go with this myth. We want to test this myth, whether this is a reality or this is not a reality. So they went ahead and undertook a research project, which was conducted in two stages. The first stage was they wanted to check this myth that managers are not required. They are unnecessary social evil. So the H not the hypothesis they started with, the null hypothesis they started with, managers are a necessary social evil and they're not required. So they said, we'll not go by hearsay, we'll not go by opinion, but we are going to collect hard data and try and understand whether we can prove or disprove this null hypothesis. So what they did was they collected the performance appraisal rating of the managers. So what was the performance appraisal rating given to the managers? And they also collected, different metrics like the job satisfaction level, the attrition level, the productivity level of the team members of the people that were being led by a particular manager, right? So they collected data from two stakeholders. What was the performance rating of the manager? And what was the job satisfaction level? What was the productivity level? What was the attrition level of the people who were reporting to this manager? And they found that managers who had a higher performance rating also had team members who had lower attrition, who had higher job satisfaction, and who had higher productivity. Right? So there was a clear correlation. So a good manager resulted in the team having lower attrition, higher productivity, and higher job satisfaction. So they said, based on this data, based on this analysis, we are busting this myth. We are discarding this myth that managers are not required. Managers are very much required. Managers are making a positive difference to the teams that they are leading. So that was stage A, stage one of this research initiative which they took. Having understood that managers are making a difference, they wanted to know what are the qualities that a good manager should have. Again, they went back and they said, we're going to collect data. So they interviewed around 10,000 techies at the company, and they said that you tell me what is the quality that you want to see in your manager. And they said, kindly rank these qualities, right? So after collecting the data from these about a sample size of 10,000, they were very surprised by the result that they got. You know, looking at the background and being an out and out tech company, they expected that somewhere people will say, my manager should have very good technical skills. And all the while, they had been hiring their managers based on technical competence. That was the number one skill that they used to look at and recruit managers for. But when they saw the results, they were extremely surprised to note that the number one quality that the techies said that they want in their manager was the manager should be a good coach, right? The second quality they said manager should be a good team player, right? The third quality which they said was that managers should take personal interest in people. So he should not just be a very mechanistic manager who's just talking about results and outputs, but he should be a person who is involved with us, who cares for us, you know. So these were the top three qualities. So there were 8 such qualities that were listed, and the eighth quality, the last quality that they said was the manager should have good technical skills. So this was a very counterintuitive result that they got, you know, and up till now they were recruiting for, technical skills only. So somewhere this discrepancy or this mismatch was corrected, and post this experiment, that is Project Oxygen, Google said that while training managers, we are going to train them on each of these 8 skills. So that's, they applied analytics to the HR function, which fundamentally is a very intuitive function. You know, almost everything is very intangible when it comes to people and HR. But here again, we have a wonderful example as to how we can use hard data and how we can use business analytics here to understand even HR issues and HR problems. So that's the example of Project Oxygen. And they said that Project Oxygen helped to resuscitate managers at Google because somewhere this belief was gaining momentum that managers are not required. But this particular research in 2 stages proved that myth to be incorrect. Another example that I would want to share with you is Zara. And I know youngsters, of course, like to wear trendy clothes, and Zara is a big fashion statement, right? So, and Zara continues to be the market leader when it comes to branded and trendy clothings and apparel. And Zara does not have a large marketing budget simply because they have a lot of confidence in their business analytics department, right? And what does this department do? This department keeps a track of the postings on Instagram, on social media. And all you youngsters, I'm sure, are there on Instagram. I can assure that there's no one in this room who's not on Instagram or who doesn't post on social media, right? So they keep a very strong check as to what is being posted by people around the world on these social media forums, and what do they like, what do they don't like, all of these things. This data is captured in the data analytics center, and it is analyzed to understand the fashion sensibilities of the people around the world. So what is it that people are looking for? And all of this is then fed to the designers at Zara. So when they're designing a new line of clothing or apparel, they take into consideration all these inputs, and then the new line is designed. And the effect of this is the impact of this is that as soon as a new clothing line leaves the stores of Zara, it becomes a trend, because here again they have already understood the consumer psyche, they have already understood what is it that my customer wants. And it's a feed forward kind of mechanism. They are using all of this to design the new clothing lining, and then once it is launched, it becomes a huge success, right? If we talk about example from Coca-Cola, again, Coca-Cola has a huge following, whether it is Twitter or any of the social media sites. Now, what they do is they have a very strong AI fueled image recognition, picture recognition software or algorithm, which is extremely powerful. So, anytime, any of the users posts a picture of Coca Cola, they get to know about it. And they also understand that from where this is being posted, who are the people who are posting it, and why have they posted it, right? So when they have so much of information about the customers, then all of this is then used in target marketing. So the marketing is customized to the customers, and that is how they are able to reach and influence the customers in their favor. And of course, we all understand the power of social media. So, of course, we cannot forget that incidents where Ronaldo, who was addressing a press conference, and I'm sure all of you can relate with that, all of the young people here can relate with that. So, when he was addressing this press conference just before a football match between Portugal and Hungary, and there were Coca-Cola bottles that were placed right in front of him. And he came, and even before he started his address, he just picked up those Coca-Cola bottles and replaced them with water bottles, right? And then he said in Portuguese, of course, water is better, right? And this incident, this simple incident, and of course, Ronaldo has a great fan following all around the world. He's a big influencer. So just this simple, incidence of few seconds is correlated with Coca-Cola losing around $4 billion loss, right? So that's the power of celebrities. That's the power of influencers. That is the power of social media. So if a company can develop algorithms or can develop, models where it can understand what's happening in the social media, all of that can be used to its advantage when it comes to business, right? Another example that probably I'd like to quote here is of Nissan. Now, Nissan is also into motorsports. It's a great company that is there into motorsports. If you go to F1, if you go to any of these Formula Leagues, you'll always find a Nissan car over there. So, Nissan has interestingly used business analytics for recruitment, right? So it needs to recruit the best of car drivers for its cars. So what it did was it tied up with Sony, and they have an annual contest where they try to identify the best e-gamers, right? So you have a lot of video games where you can test your driving skills. So Nissan uses these video games to identify which are the best e-drivers, which are the best drivers when on the video games, right? So they're using gamification here for recruiting drivers for their cars. And then these best e-drivers are identified, they are taken up, they are trained to become real life drivers for their cars. So, again, an interesting application of business analytics using gamification for recruitment of their real life cars, but then again using video games or gamification to identify that which are the drivers who have the necessary skills, competencies, and the potential to make it. Right. Uh, there is another very interesting concept which I would want to talk about before I close the session. And this is the application of business analytics in the field of insurance, right? So there's a very famous book that is Code Halos, written by uh, Frank and his associates who are working at Cognizant Technologies, right? So what do they say? What is code halos? So they say that we are spending a lot of time online. So we are either connected to the net via our mobile phones, our PCs, our desktops, and various other devices, right? But we are living in a digital world today. Okay. So when we are living in a digital world, whenever we communicate with these digital devices, lot of data gets created, gets accumulated around these devices, around people, around devices, around processes. And this data, they say, they call it as code halos. Now, the challenge before companies is if we can understand these code halos, decode these code halos, and use them to create newer business models, models which are more customized, then probably we would win the race in this industry 4.0. So one example here that I would again, want to tell you all is about insurance companies. An insurance in the field of automobile driving, so you have to pay an insurance to the insurer, right? But this insurance that you pay, this premium that you pay is a flat rate, right? So everyone pays the same premium. But customers today don't want to be segregated based on demographics like gender or age, right? Why should everyone pay the same premium? So, what the insurers are doing is they are going to charge you a premium based on your usage and behavior. So, how do you drive? What is your driving history? What is your driving behavior? What is your driving pattern? So, if you are a driver has a very risky style of driving, then you pay more premium to the insurance company. But if you are a very safe driver, why should you pay a higher premium to the company? Right? So the insurance companies are coming up with models, with pricing models that are linked to usage and driving behavior. So how do they understand, what kind of a driver you are? What is your driving patterns? So we have devices that are installed in your car, which will keep monitoring your driving behavior and pattern. So supposing you do some hard braking, you do a lot of hard braking, right? You have distracted driving, or you are speeding, or you are accelerating. So all of these behaviors are captured by this device and they are fed to the insurer. Again, here we are talking about big data because all of this data is getting generated in real time with the help of these devices. And this has to be captured, this has to be processed also in real time. So you create a profile for every driver, the driving behavior. And based on this, you pay a dynamic premium. So supposing your profile says that you are an average, you're not a big risk taker. You are a safe driver. So you pay less premium. But if it comes out that you take a lot of risks, then of course the risk is also high. So you pay a higher premium to the insurance company. So we can have this kind of dynamic pricing when it comes to premium, which again is decided with the help of analyzing your driving behavior. Right. So these are some examples that we have from the corporate world. Of course, there are innumerable applications, and it's up to you, young minds, now to think that how we can leverage this big data that is all around us for better lives, better outcomes, and of course, for better business prospects, right? So data definitely is the new gold, and but all of us need to cultivate those capabilities with the help of which we can deal with this data. See, data never lies. Data is not biased, but we have to understand by creating those capabilities of analyzing data that what is it that data is saying, what is it that data is speaking. Once we understand what data is speaking, we can take data driven decisions, right? And once we start taking data driven decisions, we are practicing what is known as evidence based management. So you don't take decisions based on your gut. You don't take decisions based on opinion, right? You don't take decisions based on rule of thumb. You don't take decisions based on hearsay. But you take decisions based on what data is telling you. But we should be able to draw those insights. We should be able to understand what the data is saying in the context of our business issue, in the context of our organization, and then implement those. So that is the evidence. Data is giving you the evidence why you are recommending a certain decision to be implemented, right? So definitely we are moving towards evidence-based management. And the good news is, or on a lighter side, it is said if you torture the data long enough, it will confess. So all we need to do is develop those capabilities. And of course, here at Christ University, you are specializing in analytics. So I wish all of you guys all the very best. If you pick up this skill, there are numerous opportunities that wait you for your career, and you will definitely emerge as a winner in Industry 4.0. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that compelling address on navigating the future of work and innovation of the quantum technology ecosystem.
We will now be having a short 15-minute coffee break in the Ivy Hall, post which we will resume the conclave. Thank you.
Entrepreneurship, technology, and business mentorship stands as the prime example of excellence. Mr. Chintan Ojha.
With an illustrious career spanning diverse domains, Mr. Chintan currently serves as a pivotal figure in fostering startup ecosystems and facilitating investments within the G20 and BRICS nations.
Mr. Chintan's educational background includes prestigious programs at the University of California, Berkeley, and the said Business School, University of Oxford, where he obtained certification in business excellence and blockchain strategy.
Furthermore, Sir's professional accolades include the Top Mentor Award at NASDAQ and certifications in project management from the Project Management Institute, which attests to his exemplary leadership and expertise in guiding businesses towards success.
Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Chintan Oza, a true pioneer in the world of entrepreneurship and digital innovation.
May I also request our esteemed faculty, Dr. Shubhashri Acharya, to please felicitate Mr. Chintan Oja. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Respected guests, it is with deep honor that I introduce to you a remarkable individual whose journey in technology and product management stands as a testament to her commitment in excellence, Ms. Aditi Vaidya.
With an exceptional career that has extended for more than 20 years, Ms. Aditi currently holds the esteemed position of co founder at Quanfluence Private Limited, where ma'am leadership skills and strategic vision drives the company's success.
Having honed her skills through diverse roles, ranging from network engineering to senior QA engineering, Miss Aditi's journey is a testament to her versatility and dedication to mastering her craft. Armed with a Bachelor of Engineering from Cummins Engineering College, Pune University, Ma'am embodies the epitome of leadership and innovation in the ever evolving world of technology.
Please join me in welcoming Miss Aditi Vaidya.
May I request the BBA Head of Department, Dr. Parameshwaran S., to please felicitate our guest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Esteemed dignitaries, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Shravani Shapure, Certified Information System Security Professional, Associate Director at Deloitte from Pune, Maharashtra, India.
With a formidable expertise spanning over 2 decades in the cybersecurity domain, Dr. Shapure is a luminary in the fields of cryptography, quantum computing, and data security.
Currently leading the quantum safe cybersecurity, cryptography, and quantum computing practice with Deloitte's Risk Advisory Division, Dr. Shapure has cultivated a distinguished career trajectory.
Ma'am's journey includes pivotal roles at renowned organizations such as Capgemini and PwC India, where she honed her skills in delivering robust cryptographic solutions.
Dr. Shapure's academic prowess is equally commendable, holding a PhD in Electrical, Electronics and Communication Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai.
Additionally, Ma'am has pursued advanced studies in data science from the International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore.
Please welcome Dr. Shravani Shapure. I also request the MBA Head of Department, Dr. Jobin Jacob, to kindly come up on the stage and felicitate Dr. Shapure. Thank you, sir.
Now, I'd like to welcome Mr. Jitesh Lalwani, a visionary entrepreneur and CEO of Artificial Brain. With over 15 years of experience in the software industry, including quantum computing, Mr. Lalwani's expertise in machine learning, NLP, and quantum physics is unmatched.
As the founder of Artificial Brain, Mr. Lalwani leads groundbreaking projects in optimization software for industries such as space, energy, and aviation. Sir's notable work includes quantum optimization software for Earth observation satellites and location optimization software for EV chargers. Let us extend a warm welcome to Mr. Jitesh Lalwani as he joins us today. I also request the esteemed faculty, Dr. Purnendu Bikas Acharji, to kindly come up on the stage and felicitate the dignitary.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Esteemed guests, it is an honor to introduce Mr. Prashant Joshi, a trailblazer in the arena of digital innovation and technological advancement. With over a decade of experience, Mr. Joshi serves as the founder and CEO of Leap and Scale, pioneering force in IoT software platforms.
Sir's visionary leadership has propelled the company to the forefront of digital transformation, offering high performance and secure solutions for consumer, commercial, and industrial applications.
A technologist of extraordinary caliber, Mr. Joshi brings a wealth of experience in building cutting edge products and scalable software platforms tailored for diverse applications.
Sir's contributions extend beyond corporate endeavors, as evidenced by his pivotal role in shaping the standards of Internet and mobile domains, collaborating with esteemed bodies such as OMA, IETF, and Bluetooth SIG.
Currently, Mr. Joshi serves as a member of the board of directors at Escaltech, further cementing his commitment to driving innovation and excellence in the technological landscape.
Armed with a professional master's from the Illinois Institute of Technology and a doctorate in computer science and information science from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, Dr. Joshi has a beacon of knowledge and expertise in the field. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Prashant Joshi. I also request the MBA batch coordinator, Dr. Resham Lohani, to come upon the stage and felicitate the dignitary.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Without further ado, I'd like to request Mr. Prashant Joshi to take the reins as the moderator of this illustrious panel. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Uh, Back again. In fact, I was also moderating the previous edition's panel discussion. In fact, I have got at least two members whom I have equally troubled last time. Yeah, and then there are two new of them. Um, in fact, uh, fortunately, I know all of them in one way or the other. And in fact, the topic that we would be talking of is really a very advanced topic. Personally, for me, 20 years of my career, I was really, I must say, flying high with corporates, uh, Siemens, Motorola, Freescale, Nokia, dealing with a lot of futuristic piece. And then quit and started off with a perspective that there are biggies who will take care of the future. Let me take care of the current potholes. And that's how I started off with the IoT area. And brilliantly so, have been in touch with many of them. They bring in wealth of not only experience but work done with cutting edge, bleeding edge. In fact, some of the discussions that we have had over a cup of coffee have been that while I struggle for every penny, they seem to be getting a lot of grants out of the 6,000 crore or some such large sum that is being spoken of. And I sincerely wish that I was part of that team to get a few hundred crores here and there, at least to talk of miniaturized photons, electrons that apparently promise that they will do computing and break all the algorithms and probably give us careers in a very different way, right? So I think that's how the foundation is. So while I fix the potholes, looks like I'll learn a lot along with you for what the future holds. And in last 1 year, at least with two of them, I can probably trouble them with saying that in last ek saal mein kiya kya, right? Let's kind of understand that a little differently. And along with that, maybe some entrepreneurship related piece. Uh, it is a fun discussion, actually, the way I would see it, that a lot of development happening, tremendous amount of focus on quantum. And while I say what I say, I've been a I've been a humble researcher of quantum, practically read a lot of Feynman and Oppenheimer. So I know a little bit of it. It's very hard. The only thing that entices me always is entanglement from quantum, and I believe that the biological manifestation of entanglement is my wife. I think probably she knows more as I think. So apparently there is a clear-cut manifestation of entanglement, and I think that's the dangerous manifestation, which in fact I don't believe humanity will ever be able to conquer in terms of how we see entanglement. So let's kind of kick it off. My view is if each one of you probably take a few minutes uh, with your lovely background and put forth your perspective on how you see the ecosystem, innovation, and also some future, because we have got future minds over here, along with researchers whom we have here uh, who are focusing probably on a different subject, but see quantum as one of the areas that we look at. And looking at a cryptography expert that I see now, I think we should be also be able to uncover what are the locks and the keys that currently are being manufactured in this world. So over to each one of you to kind of kick off your couple of minutes. We have limited time. I think my humble request, if you could keep say 2-3 minutes worth of your introduction and your kickoff point each, and then we can dig deeper.
Thank you so much. I mean, he's a lovely speaker, I must say that. Hope TEDx speaker. So it's great to be here. And I'm just trying to figure out how will I communicate, because that is how I first try to understand my audience. And I'm apologetic that I was not knowing that this is in management, the audience. So I'll try to tone down a bit. I am from the completely technical background, and I recently took over role of business development, and along with the technical development in Deloitte. Um, Cryptography is my passion, so I landed up into this subject accidentally, fallen in love with the subject. When I fallen in love with the subject, people around me say that this is a dead end. Shravani, you're done. When I started my research with Professor Surya in IIT Bombay, he said, uh, "Don't get into this. This is not a field somebody should be," because he was doing his research for so long. But my passion, and that's what I always feel, that your passion always, is very important. And um, my career is around not only the industry. I span across everywhere. I was with academia. I spent my couple of years with research institutes, and now in the industry. So I try to connect the dots, and I love to interact with the students because I see that the potential is actually there. They have uh, the strength, the dreams, and they want to fly high. So I take each and every opportunity whenever I get to connect with the student, I do that. So coming back to the cryptography, as I was saying, that it was considered to be a dead field, but it is not. And that's how what Shah Rukh Khan's movie, right? Dil se mango to khuda bhi mil jata hai. So it happens in my case. And now cryptography is one of the most important area when we are talking from the quantum perspective. Um, I'll give little bit because it's quite technical. I'm not sure how much audience knows about quantum. I have come across very beautiful talk by Professor Mosca, who I follow very closely. And then I was trying to understand the paradigm, what people are talking about quantum. And then he has given a beautiful example. He said, like, we were talking about Earth beginning, right? And all the assumptions were based that Earth is a square. And then we were doing all of the things, calculations, and we have reached the point where we started feeling no, there's something wrong. I mean, what we are considering is wrong. To some extent, it's okay, but then there is something beyond it. And then they started looking from the top, and they realized, oh, it's a sphere. The calculations change, paradigm change. And he put this analogy correctly with our digital systems. And now we are talking about digitals, ones and zeros, all technologies are evolving, complex problems, big data, analytics, and we are trying to solve. But we are reached to a limit. Now we are looking forward for a paradigm where can we solve the complex problems? Yes. Answer lies there. And that is what the quantum. It's not only one and zero, it's one and zero together. And that's what the new revolution has started. It's not new concept.
Professor Feynman has already given this vision. But now the moment has started in such a way that now we can see that there are lot of problems that quantum can solve. And one of the major problem is the carbon footprints, right? So quantum material can actually absorb the carbon and can give us a better future. So it is bringing a lot of things on the table, right? So I mean, people are so excited. Recently, in quantum National Quantum Museum, people have announced like 6,000 crores. I think it's a very small amount when it's come to quantum. I mean, Aditi can put more light on that. But yes, a lot of investments are going on. But when these blessings are coming up, it's a giving the birth to the best, which is actually breaking underlying security, which is called as a cryptography. Simple example, we use a payment system, right? And then we are very confident because we know that it's secure. And then we can easily go on a kiosk or pay. And, we are very confident. We don't even bother. Of course, there are cyber field and there are actors and all, whatever. We will not talk because that is altogether a different field. I'll come back to here. And we are secure because we know there is somebody who is taking care, and that somebody is cryptography. And now that cryptography is broken, and it is not 30 years, the estimation is only 2 to 5 years. And we have to now build a secure system, and where the cryptographers come like us. So I want you to understand this field and join hands with me. Doesn't matter management, doesn't matter technology. It's a passion that matters. And I want you to take interest in this subject. Thank you so much. Hope it's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's a great thing, and I can definitely assure you that I know this crowd. This crowd is fairly technical. They will be technology managers of tomorrow, and I think they'll be able to digest wherever they don't know. I'm sure there'll be a few questions that'll come your way. So absolutely yes, yeah.
Hello. Okay, so like Dr. Shamli just said, right? I just begin with this that quantum computing is a completely different paradigm of computing. And because you are all not from a quantum background, in terms of the ecosystem, I want to give you an idea of how this field has progressed over the last century or so. So the interesting thing is that research in this field has been going on for more than 100 years. It started very early 1900s, and a lot of breakthroughs kept coming, but nothing that commercially could be monetized, could be used for solving something usable. It was only towards the end of the last century and early 2000 when companies started building these quantum computers. It started with some very few hardware players. Then another way of doing quantum computing called annealing. That is where D-Wave came into picture, and they built one of the first really major quantum computers. This was the first early 2000s, and then over the period of last about 10 to 12 years, the industry has mushroomed. And you may or may not be aware, but there are different ways a quantum computer can be built. That is something completely different from today's classical computers. So you have the superconducting computer where, if you do a Google search, you see this large chandelier-like thing image appear of a quantum computer. So that's the superconducting computer that Google and IBM are building. There's a different approach where photonics, where light is used to manipulate as qubits. And that is, in fact, what we are doing at Confluence. There is ion trap, neutral atom, so many other ways of building a quantum computer. So in this, hardware players have evolved. Along with them, there are companies that are dealing purely in software. There are companies like Zapata Computing, there's QCware. So you have the traditional software players as well. Players like Google and IBM, they aim on giving the end-to-end solution. Um, there are some niche companies that have evolved where they create platforms for end users to really experiment, play with their algorithms, experience different kinds of hardware. Uh, because as time progressed, people realized that end customers know that yes, quantum computing is something we will need. But how is it really going to be useful in my organization? How do I implement it? What problem is it going to solve for me? Those are things that end users today still do not know, a lot of companies. So while some big companies have put in place their own quantum computing teams, there are companies who evolved to just give trainings to these kind of customers to help them implement solutions. So at a higher level, this ecosystem, hardware, software, and then there is niche players. And I think uh, India also has come up with a lot of. There are very few hardware players in India, which is not surprising. But there's just two of us. One is Confluence. There's another company that's doing the superconducting approach. But we do have a few companies that are working on cryptography. We have companies that are doing software. So at a high level, I just wanted to sort of give you an idea of how the quantum ecosystem is developing, what has been happening so far.
So you said two, right? Which is the other one?
QPI AI.
QPI AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I Pankaj said almost a year or so. I would just broaden the horizon a bit, maybe to last 2 years. So last 2 years, it has been eventful. Last uh, three quantum compute conferences we have conducted a workshop on entrepreneurs. So people who know quantum do not know entrepreneurship, and we teach them the business. So that's what I have been doing since last three IEEE annual conferences. I have consulted more than, not more than, to be specific, 9 companies wherein we have helped them shape up their GTM, raise the funds, and work with governments as well. Now we are advancing and planning to work with a couple of government agencies to shape up their vision in quantum. How should they introduce quantum compute and what should they speak when it comes to quantum? So that is what we are doing. From attending one conference a year to three conference in 3 months, this is how the Indian ecosystem has evolved. This is my second conference in 2 months. One more is coming up in next month. So that is how more and more awareness and more people have started talking about it. Uh, whether you are a technologist, whether you are a non-tech guy, whether you are legal guy, or you are a commerce guy, everyone has got a place in quantum ecosystem. Quantum companies would need people who understand finance. Quantum companies would need people for pre-sale. Quantum companies would need people even for admin job. So guys, but prerequisite is you need to understand what kind of business they are into then, and then only you can join them. So this is where the entire quantum ecosystem, with whatever market size they keep on saying, from $1 billion to hundreds of companies and ventures. So there exists a great opportunity for all of you to engage with various companies and opportunities and be part of this. So back to you, sir.
Hello, hello, good. I saw some of you meditating, so I thought I'll wake you up. Uh, anyway, so first of all, thank you to Christ University for giving me an opportunity today to talk about quantum computing. We are a quantum computing software company. We develop optimization software for space, energy, and aviation. Um, so to talk about quantum ecosystem, I would say that quantum ecosystem is at a very early stage. Uh, to give you a metaphor, think of 40 years ago, Apple and Microsoft have came up with just personal computers, and they were trying to figure out what are the right applications, uh, which who are the right users who would be using this personal computers. We quantum companies are at that stage. We are trying to figure out who are the right business users who are going to purchase our hardware, our software. Right now, there are multiple architectures. If you talk about quantum computers, there is superconducting, there's photonics, and there are multiple architectures. In software, as a software company, we are trying to figure out the right applications. For example, we develop an application to optimize Earth observation schedules. And we won the competition last year from European Union for Space Agency for our algorithm. We also got a grant last year from the Netherlands UK Innovation Network to write a white paper on wind farm optimization, where the idea was to talk about how quantum computing can be useful for application with respect to wind farm. And I am pleased to announce today, which we would be announcing publicly on LinkedIn, that we again have got one more grant from the Netherlands government for writing a white paper on quantum computing for marine life, where we are going to talk about, thank you, where we are going to talk about how quantum computing can be used to improve marine life, and not just across India, but across the globe. And for this white paper, we have done collaboration with TU Delft, which is a very big university based out of Netherlands, and our partner Boson Q, which is again one more quantum simulation software. So right now, government is the biggest or the early adopter of quantum computing. They are encouraging startups like us, hardware, cryptography, software, to try several things in several areas. So this is where the current quantum ecosystem is. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. In fact, just to talk to the audience, most of you from the MBA, right? Uh, do you see four entities out over here, right? These are the if you can imagine today's computing, this is equivalent to that stack. And there is an entrepreneur. So if you need entrepreneurship help, that's the gentleman. You have hardware developer, you have cryptography, and you have quantum software, right? So you got everything done. So you need to work with them to be the next quantum professionals, right? That's how I see the stack on the stage, right? So let's start with a bit on cryptography. I think that's the new thing on the stage, and how we see cryptography completely, and encrypting and decrypting. Uh, so let me put a different perspective, right? In fact, I remember watching Imitation Game, the movie, right, where Turing cracked the enigma, and well, I had tremendous respect for Turing. I still have one and continue to do so. But I also respect the engineers who designed Enigma, right? So now there is going to be an Enigma, there is going to be a Turing, correct? So in quantum as well, there is going to be Enigma and Turing, correct? So how do we now put an analogy to Enigma as a machine being there? Someone is going to really make it difficult and someone is going to crack it. But I believe that computing generations wise, this is always going to be the case, right? Someone puts a lock and someone puts the key. So what's the perspective from two angles? One, from the ecosystem, the way it is coming up, and second, uh, where can we get a job, right? So two questions really. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's brilliantly put up on cryptography. Uh, it's a new for quantum. Agree, but it's new, not new. So as you said correctly, tuning, and he could able to break. Cryptography is actually based on a hardness of a problem, how complex the problem is, and uh, to be very honest, there was a lot of efforts has been taken by this tuning, Alan Turing team, but still they needed a blueprint of a machine. They couldn't otherwise do that, and that is how the job of cryptography or cryptographers are. I would like to say here, which I do every forum, we are not hackers. We are different. We are cryptographers and cryptanalysts. And cryptanalysts' job is to break the foundation, mathematical foundation of an algorithm, which is actually securing the system. It's a bit difficult, even for me. I took 5 years to understand all this and digest the subject. So I'll not go into mathematical details or nothing like that. I just wanted to tell it's a very, very hard problem that nobody should break it. And when any cipher comes up, it takes around 7 to 10 years to actually get an solid to become a standard that people can use. And I was amazed when I started the journey in cryptography. RSA is very famous algorithm people know from the tech industry, and now everybody is talking about it. It took 30 years. I mean, myself worked on RSA factorization problem in during my PhD. 30 years, nobody can break. Nobody could break, and that is how we are, now relying that yes, if RSA has been used, I am safe. But of course, I mean, cryptanalysts are always chasing cryptographers. And then Shor is very great mathematician, I must say, from MIT. He has come up with the algorithm which is called as a Shor. So analogy goes there. The Alan Turing, now Shor. So Shor has come up with the algorithm, and he claimed 1990s, if quantum computer will come into existence, we can easily break RSA. And then, of course, another person joined, and then he said, like, we can even break the AES algorithm, which is actually nobody's talking. I'm surprised why NIST is still keeping mum on that. So, and then actually, the communication what we are using now is based on RSA. But people were sleeping, and they said, like, no, we still have a time. And then quantum computers or computing systems started developing because quantum computers are meant to solve complex problems. And then cryptography is based on the complex problem. So now you can interlink, right? So that's why I always see that it's a birth of a, or what you say, devil. So it's a blessing which is coming with like destruction. And then now our entire ecosystem, which is strong based on RSA, is actually in danger. People are still thinking we have a time. Trust me, we don't have. Because if you'll see the landscape, if only for India, it's huge. We don't know. Every person is coming up with a different software, right? Apps, we are plugging in, we're enjoying it. And somebody is asking, is this secure? We are saying, yeah, we are using cryptography libraries. And what is there in the library? RSA. RSA is broken. These people are talking about developing in hardware. Now, where we are leading, who will safeguard? Right, these people are very aggressive, very very aggressive. So I could see 2020 I couldn't see that traction, but now I can see that everybody is talking about quantum computing, solving a complex problem, coming with the different things. And now the scientists are claiming that they have a different algorithm than Shor, which can actually break RSA. It's all dangerous, and we don't have time. We have to gear up now, now and now. So now this is the answer to your first question, that okay, there is a brick. Solution to is yes, we have. Relax. We have solution. NIST has come up with the algorithms. Yet to standardize, of course, it takes time. But yes, looks like they will come up April end or March, May end. So that is second thing. Of course, another system, QKD, quantum key distribution, one of the strongest. Yes, we have a solution. Coming back to the employment. Do you know Y2K? Heard about Y2K? Yes. We are calling similar to that. It's not similar, but people in the industry sometimes understand that language, right? So we are calling Y2K and Y2Q. It's similar. How we need the skilled people. It's a huge ecosystem, but the timeline we don't know. We don't know timeline, right? But we need people. We have to upgrade. Everybody knows that. And now, if you compare digital footprints, transformation, and security, and everybody using RSA, jobs are, there's no limit. Nobody can estimate how much money will go into this to secure the systems. Nobody can. And task force, it's literally we can't estimate. I mean, I'm trying to find out the people who understand the cryptography, at least minimum. No, we are not getting. So this is your time to get into, jump into, save yourself, because this is how I see. See, if I stay calm, right? I said, okay, fine, there is still time. Knowing that RSA is already broken, my money is inside the bank. I know the systems are not secure. Even though I'll try to save, I'll ignore whatever, the money is going to go. My money. So I'm doing social work for myself, to be very honest. So do it for yourself, right? Try to save your own systems, get into this field, understand. And it's not only technical. There are a lot of roles, as he said, right? They're not only technical, but we want people who handle the system, who handle the team, and lot of jobs. Just get into this. That's what I would like to say.
So I think we'll come back to that when I build the stack completely, right? We'll build the stack now, bit of it. Uh, from the entrepreneurship perspective, right? If you look at as an entrepreneur, if I want to really look at quantum as a business, and if I look at business segments, as I think there was a mention about uh, how Apple or Microsoft actually brought in, and they call it democratizing of computing, right? And that is what really led to everybody using computers today. Smartphones are uh, really in everyone's hands because they are useful, right? From a primary perspective. And in fact, now a mandate because you need to do electronic payments. So I think somewhere it also became a mandate. And I think mobile phone is an extended organ if we look at it. Now, so the ecosystem, if I look at it from a market orientation for an entrepreneur, apparently quantum computing is in a very initial stages where I think it is probably going to be in a lab, probably accessed remotely, and not in hands of a person. I'm not going to carry a quantum laptop, is what I believe. At least in my lifetime, is what I think. I would love to carry one. But if you look at from an entrepreneur's angle and the way the hardware is, maybe it is a question to both of you from a hardware and an entrepreneurship angle. How do we see market segments in the primary sense, right? In terms of would there be consumer applications? Because when I look at quantum, everybody talks of yaar ye encrypted data hai, mera paisa chala jayega, right? I think that is one fear that everyone has. In fact, the fear today is they're doing cryptography. I'm thinking of actually investing in two kinds. How can I prevent quantum frauds? Right? That's the next thing that we need to look at. Right? There is a quantum. Even if there is cryptography today, there are frauds. People take away money in broad daylight by just calling you. Correct. Earlier, at least they had to come home, break open. अभी तो कुछ भी नहीं है. Phone करो, तुम खुद ही भेज देते हो पैसा. Right? That's how the piece is. So how do we now see this mix of things when it comes to market segment? I mean, what can young entrepreneurs look at it, especially considering that software ये execute कहाँ होता है वहाँ पे आते हैं, but hardware like only two companies in India. So how do we see this ecosystem and what are the opportunities there when it comes to market and hardware?
So I'll speak from a hardware perspective and the market perspective. So you talked about carrying quantum laptops, right? So that is not the idea at all. Quantum computers will always coexist with today's computers, with today's supercomputers. It is always going to be a hybrid interface to solve any of the problems, right? So imagine that you just want to do a 2 plus 2 equal to 4 kind of compute. That problem gets sent to the classical computer. You want to solve an optimization problem, the interface sends it at the back end to the quantum computer to simplify it to a very basic level. So quantum computers are not going to sit on everybody's desks. That's not the idea. They're going to be used to solve very, very complex problems. One of the complex problems she already touched upon is cryptography. We don't want to, but people are going to use quantum computers to break cryptography. Other applications are going to be where your new drug discovery, for example, where the molecules of a new material, of an element, need to be modeled, need to be understood. You need to understand the way they interact with other molecules. And today, that process is a very, very long process. It spans sometimes 8 to 10 years. But because quantum computers have this ability to model molecules in a much, much better way because of the way the quantum nature, the molecule itself is quantum in nature. So this cuts down these kind of research times. So this kind of optimization problem is what quantum computer is going to be good at solving. So molecular modeling, you want to solve the traveling salesman problem, or you want to find the best possible route. You're shipping cargo between 20 different ports across the world, and you want to do that in a way where you touch upon each of the ports, but with the minimum fuel cost and in the shortest possible time. So that kind of a problem you would not realize is extremely difficult to solve on today's computers, but quantum computer will do that better. So those kind of problems, those are the ones that a quantum computer will solve. In terms of market segment, again, uh, yes, India has traditionally been lagging with hardware. We missed the bus with semiconductor, right? With the semiconductor revolution, the same thing happened. We have just been playing catch up. We did well in the software industry. I think one of the things when it comes to doing a hardware company is the kind of capital it requires is intensive. Like NQM, the quantum mission that was recently declared, it talks about 6,000 crores. That's not a lot of money if you really want to do good quantum computing hardware startups from the country. So that's the kind of scale we are talking about. Um, However, there are different approaches, and I think going forward, there is a possibility that photonic quantum computing may end up getting good at solving a certain set of problems. The superconducting approach, which may be good at solving certain set of problems. We are just actually going to have to wait and watch and see how this field evolves in terms of what kind of hardware solves what kind of problems, and if one kind of hardware is better suited. Yeah, I'm doing photonics, so we usually talk about the advantages of photonics quantum computers, but I think time is going to tell us which kind of hardware is going to really be a front runner for solving this.
It should work now, right? Yeah, so by orientation, India has been a service economy. So all of a sudden, we cannot have hardware companies popping up out of nothing. So, but yes, definitely there is a great opportunity and we are at the right place. Having said that, uh, services has got a great potential, as they call it, day zero preparedness. Not every enterprise would be able to afford quantum skills on day zero. They would like to test certain use cases and what sort of usability they have. They cannot hire army of coders on day zero. There's a reason that would a great potential for all the companies who would like to help other enterprises test quantum, that we can help you test, what sort of water, what sort of whether it's uh, what use cases you would like to test, like even maybe a pharma company based out of Pune, how they can get benefited with a quantum compute machine or a use case, or maybe expedite drug discovery, or even develop new product, or maybe develop a new shape of an automobile. So there are certain ways where we will have advantage. Having said that, all of you have seen Hustle 2 and you are fan of singer, I guess. Her name is Srishti. मैं नहीं तो कौन बे? Srishti, right? So that's where I would like to say मैं नहीं तो कौन बे. Because was Jitender is the cheapest coder on the planet, not the John. So Jitender is going to code, whether it is quantum or anything else. So India would remain to be a IT capital of the world, and that is where we would continue to thrive. And last point is, as far as various services are concerned, they are yet to emerge on the horizon. Quantum can control autonomous fleet of entire city, autonomous cars of entire city. Quantum compute can control drone fleets for an entire logistic company. But these use cases are yet to emerge. Why we get 6G, अभी 5G अभी भी आ गया हमारे पास, But while we get 6G, these new use cases powered by quantum would see, I mean, light of the day. So, use cases, market, and definitely our market, our demographic dividend is something is at our advantage. कोई किधर भी मैन्युफैक्चर करे कहीं पे करे बट कस्टमर किधर बैठा है कस्टमर इधर ही बैठा है कंजम्पशन किधर है इधर ही तो कंजम्पशन है so everyone will have to ultimately orient themselves to Indian markets.
Yeah, I think um, that kind of popped up one more question, and I think comes to Jitesh, is that when it comes to software, I think software development, and as Aditi mentioned, that it's going to be work sent to a system. Does quantum does it, or conventional computing does it? Maybe I don't decide, the system itself bifurcates. So today, if we look at the entire, maybe LinkedIn is one social network or otherwise, I think somehow when I look at the social media, the chat GPT came in, and in about 6 months time there were certified chat GPT experts who were talking about, we will not only understand, we will also teach you. The other day I also saw quantum computing certifications being given. So I have two questions. One, to Jitesh, to enlighten in terms of today's ecosystem. If we look at pure jobs and job descriptions, right? Ki quantum ka job hai, what is that job entails? How should I prepare, right? As a professional or as a student, how should I prepare? And I think second question, more open to everybody, is कि ये quantum में expertise जमा करने के लिए time कितना लगता है, right? I think there is another piece, right? It takes 9 months, everyone knows, well established, right? लेकिन इसका mark किधर है, right? Is it that someone works for 2 years and we are done 3? There is a certain kind of a known time limit, right? And I think I would love all of you commenting on it. But prior to that, the software part, and so if I were to apply in your company, what's the job description like? How does today's software portion look like when I want to do quantum computing and maybe solve weather problem for flood or marine example that you gave?
Okay. So by the way, we are looking for software engineers. So I'll give you a live example of a JD, right? So uh, if you're trying to develop quantum software, most of the quantum libraries are written in Python language. So you need to learn Python first of all, right? Uh, the second is it requires a lot of mathematics. So it's good to also understand mathematics behind quantum. Quantum is not like an application development where I will tell you put a button on the middle of the web page, right? It requires a lot of R&D. So if you don't want to do a lot of R&D, this field is not for you, right? It's so painful to do research for 6 months and you don't get good results, right? So on an average, it takes 6 to 8 months to develop a good quantum algorithm, and then the question is, will it outperform classical algorithms? Then you need to do a lot of benchmarking as well, because if you go to customers and tell them that my algorithm is better than your classical algorithm, they're not going to believe you just because it's quantum is not better than classical algorithm. So you also have to do benchmarking, and this is what we do. So we have published papers. In fact, one of the paper we are going to present today, that is again related to Earth observation, where we demonstrated that our quantum algorithm is better than the best classical optimizer, which is Garobi optimizer. So this is second thing, that you need to do lot of R&D. The third, uh, which is very, very important, is that because we also don't know what are the right use cases, right? So we talk with lot of customers, and as a company, we also invite our engineers to those customer meetings. So you have to be open to talk with customers to understand their problem, to understand if that particular problem is a quantum problem or not, right? You don't need quantum to send hi to your friend, right? But you need quantum if you are trying to solve problems such as drug discovery and other problems, right? I will also answer second question regarding the current job market. Um, it's very hard to put a number uh, on the current job market, right? Because many companies are experimenting with different kind of hardware, right? It can be superconducting, it can be photonics, because we also don't know which is the right hardware. It could be hybrid, it could be combination of superconducting, it could be combination of photonics. So every company is asking for different skill set, right? And that is one of the biggest issues that engineers face, that they don't know if they should learn about particular, uh, let's say, A architecture or B architecture. The second thing is because it's an early field, they need to understand that they are also taking a very big risk, right? It's a high risk taking, high reward kind of field, where we don't know in the next 10 years where quantum is going to be. And I can say for sure that if we are not going to find good application in the next 2 to 3 years, 80% of startups will die, right? They will just disappear. So it's a very, very risky field. Uh, and I always tell to people who are especially doing PhDs in quantum, right? Keep this in your mind, that in the next few years, this field can change drastically. You are taking a very big risk, but all of the top computers companies were started 40 years ago. Let it be Apple, let it be Microsoft, let it be any company, right? So if you want to become a next big company, and if quantum works, this is the right time to get into quantum. Thank you.
Okay, I think before others take over this question, so it looks like that, and particularly of interest, probably of the audience. I'm just guessing this, but is that Python mathematics, right? So I need to know Python. I need to know mathematics. I need to have patience, and I also need to be ready that in 3 4 years I may be kicked out of the industry, right? So that seems to be the JD currently. But Python and mathematics seems to be a universal common denominator which can survive. And if I look at big data also that was spoken, and I think all of the application seems to be on big data. So finance, financial frauds, HR data that we deal with a lot of business analytics for businesses itself. Maybe unorganized businesses got to become organized businesses. NGOs spending their money, the entire flow of money during politics. So problem seems to have that enormity and probably application. Just trying to kind of summarize what may be useful. Okay. So if others can take up.
Yeah, so apart from this, it's what we spoke is about sheer quantum. Then there are other use cases which are like kind of convergence of multiple technologies. When you mix quantum with AI, then there is a potential. When you mix quantum with some other technologies like supply chain, maybe blockchain or something, the use cases and the opportunities multiply. So if you become just pure quantum expert, then probably yes, 3 years time it's something which is like life of technology has become 3 years, 1,000 days. 1,000 days before everyone was, jumping around to become a cloud architect. Now it is like the Idut Kadanda. Everyone knows, right? So same thing may happen down the line 2027. Everyone knows quantum. What extra you know? So probably my advice to youngsters would be yes, learn technology. Don't fall in love with one technology and live life. 1,000 days, keep on moving, keep on learning. From a sheer technical role, try to move to a team lead role. Try to move to a pre-sales role. Try to learn new things. The journey of learning has to continue, right? So that's my submission.
Thank you.
So I think coming from a hardware company, I think that this different kind of architectures in quantum computing does create some kind of specialization as far as technical roles go. For example, we look for hiring somebody like a quantum optics researcher. So he or she is somebody who knows physics, not necessarily an expert in quantum technologies, but a basic idea, but is familiar with optics labs, experiments using lasers, fibers, couplers, and setting up of these experiments. So that is sort of a specialization, whereas somebody like an ion q kind of company who does trapped ion computing, they would not require these optics skills. Their skill set for the technical person would be different. And interestingly, what I have seen is that universities around the world are offering masters and PhDs for quantum computing technologies. There are a few that say masters with specialization in trapped ion. In fact, MIT Boston gives something like that. So possibly these kind of roles would evolve, but that is more on the tech side. I think, given that this is more of a management kind of a college and the audience, I think getting to know the technology, understanding how, say, quantum computing will be used for financial portfolio model optimization, or de-risking your financial investments, that kind of understanding is important. Knowing the technology is important, but I think the non-tech sector has it a little easier, where you can still keep your skill set a bit generic and still dive a bit deeper into quantum, so you can get into the job force 4 years down the line if you realize that these technologies are really not working out, which won't happen, hopefully. But you have developed a generic skill set where you can go to other kind of roles as well.
Thank you. Yes.
One more point I wanted to add was, please learn Qiskit. Right? Qiskit is it's like learning Windows. So Qiskit is the operating system, the basic one, which you all can learn and should learn. And probably बहुत सारे WhatsApp group बनाते रहते हो. So why don't you make one more WhatsApp group of Qiskit enthusiasts or quantum enthusiasts, add 4 5 friends, and then see that you make some progress, read something or teach something to each other every week. So that is how probably slowly, gradually, you would be able to grasp it. It may not happen that all of a sudden you realize you work like a Superman, Superwoman, and then 15 days, kaboom, the new avatar of you is reborn, right? That's not possible. So you'll have to keep on doing some or other thing. Pick up one technology, be it drone, be it blockchain, be it cybersecurity, be it AI, be it quantum, be it EV, whatever it is. Make a WhatsApp group of like-minded people, exchange what's happening in that specific domain and discuss. Share your intellectual side rather than joking around. So now is the time. बहुत सारे लोगों का वो जो 2.5 जीबी वाला जो मन्नत है ना, 1000 रील एवरी डे, वो सब थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा. एंड ये सब किस लिए हम लोग बता रहे हैं? टू get rid of all these what you call distractions, right? Whatever we are speaking, all of us know. Why are we speaking here? It's just to convey it to you so that you get interested and you move further, right from Instagram reel to something in quantum computing. Thank you so much.
That's quite a transformation, insta to quantum.
Yeah, because it comes to me naturally because my son is in the final year of engineering. So मेरे लिए भी एक चैलेंज है उसे वो 1000 रील की मन्नत में से निकाल के कहीं और घुसाना. Yes.
So, first of all, you promised that you will trouble us. You did that. So, thank you so much for that. And second very important thing is that for me, I'm a very optimistic person, researcher. So, I believe this is going to happen. This field is not going to die. Because a lot of people, if you'll see the roadmap, the way the investments are going on, they believe that this is the future. So quantum is not good. Somehow the framework change, some new things will come up, but quantum is going to come for sure. Timeline, yes, it's not that firm, but I'm still optimistic that it is going to be very close because the way now the funding is coming in the research, comparatively, if you'll see 10 years or 15 years ago, now everybody is interested knowing and doing something new. So research is flourishing. Um, so quantum is coming. That's what the bottom line is. Regarding my field, so I mean, I'm not going into the other field because I love cyber. My field is not going to die. As long as we are here talking digital remotely, cyber is needed. So this is not going to die. Job, lot of jobs. Not technical, yes. So it's a broad span. Cyber is not only covering technical. Cyber is also talking about audits. Cyber is also talking about management, right? So cyber, you just get into cyber. So I wherever I go, I advocate. So you should get into the cyber. Second very important thing, whether quantum comes or not, cryptography is not going to go. And then people attacking cryptography will not go. We need strong cryptography. Yes, it's going to be there. Implementations, upgradation. Yes, it's going to be there. So this field is going to stay. So come with us. That's what the bottom line, right? So just be optimistic, as sir say, learn a lot of things, understand. And second very important thing, don't go with the trends. If somebody's saying, oh, big data is good, somebody's saying cloud is good, somebody's saying cyber is good. No, learn, understand your own passion. What I like, what is my strength, my simple funda in the life, right? When I started this journey, I was knowing zero about cryptography, nothing, nothing, nothing. When the subject is landed in my hand, I still remember one book, one problem on Fermat's theorem, which is abstract mathematics. I sat 8 hours continuously without even taking water to solve one problem to understand. This is what the passion. Whatever subject it is, be it big data, be it cyber, be it management, be it leadership, just pick up that, go for it, leave your passion. And that's how you will. There is always a top place which is empty, and that is for you, and that is for me, right? So keep this funda, and it's all yours. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely spectrum that we have got across the board, and in fact, a lot of opportunity. Do you agree on that? Yeah, quite some opportunity for all of us. So all of us, I'm a Python. I think I can apply for a job. I know Python. I'm just gonna because you know what I said, right? I fix potholes of today. You guys are doing potholes of tomorrow. So amazing. I think this has been quite a discussion if I look at it in terms of hardware. And the entrepreneurship addition to the panel since last time has been amazing in terms of looking at what are the opportunities. And definitely, while we won't carry a quantum laptop, the computing feature would definitely be something that we need to look at. And uh, one thing that I can comment on is that the uh, entrepreneurship, cryptography, and software development seems to have gone from an India angle a bit forward. Whereas I think hardware, as we have known at countrywide, there is a challenge in terms of how we look at it. But apparently, last time there may be jobs was the piece. Now it looks like that there are jobs. If you know the skill, we have a job for you, which seems to be a big plus. And I think there are a lot of papers and development that has happened where quantum is now being employed to solve some of the problems, or at least looked at from a solution perspective. So amazing. Thank you so much for a lovely discussion. And we gained quite a lot from the discussion is what I believe. I'm seeing some nodding heads, so I believe I'm talking on your behalf as well. So thank you. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Thank you to all the panelists. Very grateful to grace this occasion as well as an amazing panel discussion with a real passionate discussion on the topics. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant.
I'll just sure. So hope I would able to convince on a cyber. Thank you.
You want a question? Okay, amazing. Sure. Sir, we have few minutes for a couple of questions, right? Okay, sure. Cryptography looks to have touched the hearts, looks like.
You said, yeah, audible. Yeah.
Yes.
You said right on what type of problem quantum computing is.
Quantum computing is
Going to solve.
solve. First is the cryptography. The second is the finance modeling.
Uh,
Drug discovery. The weather forecast. I mean, we have all experts. So, and wherever the complexity is there, right? Complex problems. Yes, it's going to solve that. So, you have to find out your own. So, so like, I think this started working. Yeah.
So one very interesting, quickly, I won't take too much time, but there's a little bit of exaggeration when people claim today that problems are being solved. But I'll tell you, Mercedes-Benz today claims that they are already using a quantum computer from IBM to better their battery technology. So a lot of us do not know, but battery technology is tremendous hard work. There's a lot of reactions that go on inside a battery, and modeling those takes even our today's supercomputers months and months of work, and it eventually ends up in rounding off a lot of errors. It leads to bad research results, bad in the sense not perfectly accurate research results. So they claim that they are using IBM's quantum computer. They are doing better battery simulations, which results in better technology and which results in better batteries that are better for the environment. So that's just a use case that they claim on their website.
There are many actually. There are many. Oh, she has a question.
Oh, uh, hello. And I'm from Date. So, my question to you is that is the fusion of quantum computing and artificial intelligence going to deal a severe blow to the jobs that are there right now? I mean, if it is a possibility, it sounds, amazing, but will it deliver a severe blow?
Yeah, but why are you worried about job?
But we just,
So I'll refer a quote by Eric Bridjolson. He is director of MIT. He says technology is responsible for killing jobs and technology is responsible for creating jobs, right? If you look at a decade ago, lot many jobs were not around. A decade ago, did you ever dreamt of becoming a drone pilot, right? All of a sudden, drone came, and then people are running around to become a drone pilot. So don't get disheartened or create a fear. I mean, we are not into that business of those, creating fear and then trading fear. If you believe in your skill, then definitely you would be able to survive. But yes, getting a job is your job, not government's job. I hope you understand what I'm saying,
Yes.
right?
Okay, maybe I can also add one more point. So there is a new field which is quantum machine learning and quantum AI. So we are also developing a product based on quantum machine learning. Uh, I would not tell you the entire details, but it is something to do with Earth observation data, where we are trying to process the data using quantum machine learning. So it's already happening.
Thanks so much.
We can take one last one here.
Yeah, the lady here, the white jacket lady. Yeah.
Raised her hand.
She's been patiently waiting for her turn. Ah.
I have a question to Jitesh, sir. Sir, can insights on how quantum computing is gonna affect our marine life?
Yeah. So uh, we were uh, we were trying to detect or classify viruses using quantum machine learning. So we were already working on that particular problem, and then we found a very interesting problem and interesting solution. To train a machine learning model, you require labeled data or training data. Now, the problem is that w- even if you get Earth observation data, they are not labeled. They are not ready for machine learning models. So now we started to explore how QML can be used to even create training data for your machine learning models. So one of the application was to classify the viruses that you get that are on oceans across the world, whether they are good virus, whether they are bad virus, how they are affecting the health of fish and the surrounding humans. Then obviously optimization, logistics optimization, right? How would you optimize logistics so that the cost of the shipping companies can be reduced? The other is obviously climate prediction. How would you predict climate using quantum computing? Because these are some of the application which are for marine life, and we would be publishing this paper in the next 3 months, so you will get more idea about what all applications are possible. And I'm just talking about quantum machine learning and optimization, but there are other applications from simulation perspective as well. Thank you.
अरे तुम लोग को जो सवाल पूछना चाहिए तो पूछा ही नहीं। कौन सा ईमेल आईडी पे रिज्यूम भेजे और इंटर्नशिप कब से चालू होगा? वो तो सवाल पूछना था, किसी ने पूछा ही नहीं।
वो
जितने
वन ऑन वन पूछेंगे।
तो वो तो पहला सवाल आना चाहिए था, वो तो आया ही नहीं। चलिए, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, panel, for the illustrious and insightful discussion. Now, I would like the dignitaries to please proceed towards the banquet hall on the ground floor central block for the lunch break, post which we will be continuing with the next segment of the conclave.